Alright, we're back. Alright, I got my bearings all figured out now. So, this is our left case here. So, this one we were shooting for roughly 11 to 12 on the number we wanted. So, I'm going to turn the light off to help on this one. Light off. Okay, so there you go. We're pushing 12 to 13 now. Huh. Before it was 11 to 12. Great. This one's about 13. It gets to 15 at the very bottom. I just measured this thing. It's 11 to 12. That's weird. Okay, you turn it 90 degrees. There's our 11 and 12 right there, and then it gets taper at the bottom. Alright, so you check your diameter up and down like that. Okay, so we're a couple tenths loose in the bad spot, and we're good to go on the rest of it. So we're maybe a tenth of extra clearance and worst. The very, very worst spot, it goes about a 4/10 bigger than I want, but there's a big eyebrow. You can't do anything about that. Except keep honing it bigger and bigger and bigger until it comes out, which just tears up, doesn't really gain you that much. Okay, this one's the right case. So this one here, I was shooting for 9/10, 1/10 to 1 thou over, which is 10/10. And the coarse one cut so damn fast, it went oversized on me. So this one with the 4/10 over bearings, I'm shooting for 14. And we were basically about 15 on this one to 16 on the bad spot. It's just before it drops off the bottom. You get 16, 17, 16 right there. We're all the way down right now. You come up to where it belongs and it's 15 there. And this one here is 15 up there, and it drops back down to about that 16-ish number, maybe 17 on the outside. So an extra tenth on this one also. So we got our extra tenth on both of those. Always hang that over the edge so you don't bang it. Alright, so those are what we want, more or less. And interruptions already. Yeah, 8:30 ain't late enough. We back. Okay, I forget where I left off, but anyway. This shaft's got about 3/10 taper on it. It's big here, small on the inside. And the other one's out around a little bit, so you can't make everything perfect because the parts I'm working with aren't perfect. So there you go. Okay, so what you gotta do now is check the feel fit. Measuring stuff is real nice, but I don't care about what measuring is. I care about what feel is. So if it doesn't feel right, I do something different. Okay, so I'm taking a set of generic thrust washers and just laying them in here on the crank. So I can set some in place. Put a little dab of oil in here to help hold it on helps. There we go. That was more than a dab. That was a big dab. Dab the other side too. Okay. So that goes on there. Now the thrust washer determines where the crank sits in the middle of the case and what the overall end play is. So you play around with different thicknesses to move it around a little bit. That is the old way of doing things. Okay, now this one here, we have this old snap ring we're going to use. It's hard to get in that direction, so let's do it from this direction. I usually put the snap ring up. There is no oil galley to worry about, but damn, that is hard to get in there. Okay. I don't want to scrape that across my bearing surface. So we go on this side. Push it in. So it's hard to see what I'm doing. We're just working it in here. The little titties that stay in the snap in the groove would be nice, but I don't want to do that. One's in. So the snap ring's in there sideways a little bit right now. So I just pull up the side that's low, it pops right up in there. As long as those two titties are in there, we're good. That should be good. Here it go pop. Once it's in there, I try to rotate it. Sometimes you can rotate, sometimes you can't. This one you cannot rotate. Feels like it's in the groove. So it's up in there now. So there your stop is in there. Okay, now the tit washer right here goes in a hole above the snap ring. Snap ring's in there. Just drop that down into the hole like that. She's in. Then you take your bearings, drop those in there, and then whatever thickness washer fits in there is one to use. You got two fat ones here, and I know one was a lot fatter than that. Yeah. So that's the skinnier one, fits no problem. This is the bit fatter one, and it fits no problem also. Actually, I'm not sure which one goes where yet, but we'll go with the fat one on this side for now. Make sure it fits on the crank. There you go. Well, that's a tight fit. Okay, so that one there should be good to go for a mock-up. So we'll lay that on the crank and feel it. See what it feels like. Bang, bang, bang. So basically just take this and lay it in there. Slide it on in there. That, and it should rotate. A lot of oil on the crank there. Got assembly oil on the crank rods there, so let's get that off. Touch it without being oily. Okay, now you learn to lean the crank back over. So the rod should rotate, crank should rotate freely on there. And you pull up a little bit and feel in play. And you can see how the case has in play in it, or not in play, but bearing clearance. Nice and loose, good. You want to have some breathing room in there, that's the key. Okay, next thing is you look at the rod offset in the case. And see if it looks like it's centered pretty good. So see how it looks centered there. So you want to make sure it looks halfway centered. And right now looks like it's a little bit to the left. I'd say it's a little bit to the left, so the thrust washer is probably going to be a little bit big on that side. Would be my guess. So I might have to go to a thinner washer. I did not measure these first, so just see what they are. These were similar thickness, so I have to drop the calipers. It's always good for them when you drop them. Perfect. Good thing it's my old set. Reset our 0. Make sure it repeats. Seems to repeat. These are 87, that's why they're so thick. So that's kind of in the middle upper range. They go up to a little over 100, and then I got 72, I think is the lowest, or 68, something like that. Okay, so I'd guess we need a little bit thinner one on that side to make it more centered, but we don't know what the left one's going to do. So, okay, so for now we're going to leave that one in there. Now we're going to see what our left case looks like. Now this one I'm just going to stack everything in here because I got to play with a little bit. So I should do a little bit thinner washer. So I have some old packs here. Can't find all my loose ones, so these are some of Dad's. Leftover Dad inventory. Yeah, you don't need that one, did you? works just fine. Alright. So, caliper again. 61, that'd be a thin one. 72. 69. 66. 80, we don't need. These all look real thick. 101, 109, that's a big ass one. 95, 90, 75, 82. This one was 82, 85, 82, something. 170, 60, 74, and 66. And this is a 61, yep. Okay, there they are. They're in order now. So easier to find that way. Okay, I'm going to put the second one up. That's 66, 67 should be. 66 and a half. It's probably actually something in that area. Okay, now this has a little notch for the crank pin when you put it in, so put it in that direction. Slip down there real nice. Push your washer on there that we already had. The bearings go in like this. They're supposed to have this side to the inside, but you have to hold them to put them in like that. Boom. And it takes a thin washer over here, which we don't have right now. It'll be one of these here. I don't need that for what I'm doing right now. Right now I'm just checking my fitment right now. Okay. Pull up a little bit, check your clearance. Hear it? A little bit of jiggle jiggle. Okay, I'm good with that. And our end place appears to be tight with a shocker. Okay, that's that. Okay, so now we have a seal spacer here. I don't think he brought one with him. Double check his parts over here real quick. Nope, don't see anything sitting in the box. Alright, so this is the, instead of having a backwards thread to keep the oil in the motor, which doesn't work very well, obviously, we have an actual spacer with a seal on it. It actually has a real seal in there. They're pretty much a one-time use. You put them in and they're in there permanently. They come with a snap ring, so we need that, so I'll get that out of here without cutting myself. I did sharpen my knife here yesterday. It's hard to tell though. Okay. So, you can't just put this in there and put a snap ring over it. The snap ring goes in first and this recesses into the snap ring, and then when the snap ring's in there you can't get this in and out. You'd have to take the snap ring out to get this out, but you can't get the snap ring out with this in the way. So without breaking something. So keeps you from changing it when the motor's together. The next thing is this is supposed to be a press fit. Helps if your finger doesn't catch on the inside. So this should be a press fit so it does not rotate. If it rotates in there, then it leaks oil around the OD and it still leaks oil. So ideally you want it to be a press fit. And it appears it's going to be a tight fit, which is a plus. We like that part. So what you have to do is you have to press it in deep enough you can put the snap ring in it, and then press it back up. Now when these go to big oversized races in here, then there's no press fit. It just rattles around in the hole, which is not what you're after. Okay, so to make this work, I'm going to do some playing. Alright, get some tools, I'll be back.